Hi everybody, today we are making Asopao de Pollo. It is chicken dish from Puerto Rico, and we talk about it in our book, When I Was Puerto Rican. So, as you can see, here is our recipe. We have a whole list of ingredients, and then our instructions are right here on the back. So let's just go through and make sure we've got everything. So we need our chicken thighs. Here they are, our boneless chicken thighs. Then we have our ground black pepper, our sazon, the olive oil. We have a red bell pepper, a green bell pepper, an onion. The recayito, I forgot to get that. See, that's why you double check. So now if you remember, I made the recayito and I put some in the freezer. And as you can see, it's frozen into these little cubes. Now, each one of these cubes is about a tablespoon. We need a quarter cup. Does anybody know how many tablespoons there are in a quarter cup? Well, if you're not sure, you could Google it and look it up, or you could take your measuring spoon, fill it up, that's 1 tablespoon, and you could actually take a liquid measuring cup, find the quarter cup mark on it, and fill this with water until it reaches that, and then you would know how many tablespoons, or if you can remember, there are actually 4 tablespoons in a quarter cup. So if we need a quarter cup of the recayito, I need 4 of these cubes, okay? So let's double check, what else do we need? We need a tomato paste. It's right here. That's left over from our previous recipe. And our long grain rice, our chicken broth, the bay leaf. And now, if you notice on my recipe, I have petite peas and green olives. Now, if anybody knows cooking at home, you don't always have all of the same ingredients, or you may have ingredients you want to use up. So from our sancocho, I still have this kabocha squash and the butternut squash. So today, just like Negi's mom, when she grabs things out of the refrigerator, I want to use up what we have in the refrigerator. So in place of the peas and the green olives, I'm going to use the kabocha squash and the butternut squash as our vegetables for the dish. All right, so that is how you can create your own dish when you're at home. And it is a bit of a tricky thing. You do kind of need to know what you can alter. So as time goes and you learn how to cook more and more, you will know what ingredients you can switch out and substitute with something else. For today though, instead of the peas and the green olives, I'm going to substitute the kabocha squash and the butternut squash because I want to use them up. I don't want them to go bad and grow in the garbage. That's a huge waste of money, all right? So that's why I have those out, and I'll get them done. So now I'm going to start preparing all of the ingredients, and here are my tools. Here's my cutting board, my non-slip mat, my paring knife, my chef knife, our measuring spoons, and our tongs. All right, so I've already demonstrated for you how to cut the green bell pepper, the red bell pepper, and the onion, and I'm going to do all of that off camera so I don't waste any time, and then I'll get back and show you the next step that we need to do. Hi, so now I'm preparing the chicken thigh. This is boneless, skinless chicken thigh. If you notice, I'm now using a red cutting board. Before, when I was using the green cutting board, I cut up all our vegetables, the green pepper, the onion, the kabocha squash, the red bell pepper, and I use the green cutting board. I'm switching to the red cutting board to cut the chicken because chicken is known to cause salmonella poisoning. Salmonella is unpleasant, makes you very sick, you're in the bathroom a lot. You do not want to get salmonella poisoning. So we do not want to cross-contaminate our cutting boards by using the same cutting board to cut vegetables and then to cut meats, chicken, fish, pork, okay? So we use the red cutting board to cut our chicken. So we prevent any cross-contamination into our vegetables of potential salmonella poisoning because we have cut the same cutting board with chicken. One way, if in case you're at home and you don't have two cutting boards, how do we prevent the salmonella from cross-contaminating to other things? You can clean off your cutting board with hot water, soap, and then bleach. A bleach solution of a tablespoon of bleach to 1 gallon of water. All right, so again, that's 1 tablespoon of bleach to 1 gallon of water. Spray that on, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then rinse it off. Then your cutting board will be sanitized. The bleach cuts the bacteria, pathogens, germs, etc. Okay? So now if you notice, this is our boneless, skinless chicken thigh. There is some fat here. Some people like to remove all of the fat. I don't. I want some of that fat flavor to fry down when we're cooking it and add flavor to it, so I'm not going to completely remove it. What I am going to do is cut here and cut here to make them into smaller pieces. I've already done that with everything in the bowl, so you can see I've already trimmed all of these into smaller pieces, and then I'm going to toss it with the sazon and the black pepper. Then they'll be ready, and we can pan fry them in the pot until brown, and they will be ready to use in our asopao. So I'm gonna cut right here. Now I don't have a camera person with me right at the minute, so I'm holding the camera in one hand and trying to cut this with the other hand. I'm just using a paring knife. I find this paring knife is very sharp. I like it because this chef knife that I have here actually has a bit of a serrated tip, which prevents me from being able to sharpen it a lot, and I find I have much more control. Now, of course, I kind of need my other hand to do this. So anyhow, I will cut this all and then show you how to toss the stuff, or maybe I'll find someone who can help me be my camera person. I have my cut up chicken thighs in the large bowl. I have my tongs here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our sazon, we're gonna sprinkle it over the chicken, and I'm going to take a half teaspoon of black pepper, and we're gonna sprinkle that over too, and that is our seasoning for our chicken. And with the tongs, we're gonna toss it to get that coating over all of the pieces. And then what we're gonna do after we get this completely coated, each piece coated with the seasoning, is that I'm gonna brown it in the frying pan, or a large saucepan. And I already have the 3 tablespoons of olive oil in it. So you can look at that bright red color coming off on the chicken. So you want to keep tossing it, make sure it's completely coated with those flavorings. Again, I'm trying to do this with one hand holding the camera and one hand doing the work. So here is our hot pot with our oil already in it. And you can see it's a bit tilted, so let me spread it around, get the oil all over the bottom. And then what we're going to do is we are going to brown the chicken in the bottom of the pan. So I have it turned down way too low. It didn't make any sort of sizzling noise. So we're going to make sure that heats up so it sizzles when I add the chicken. So I'm going to brown all the pieces in the pan. Then we'll turn them over and brown them on the other side. And if you look right here at our instructions, so pan fry chicken in pot until brown, okay, 4 to 5 minutes on each side. So that's what I'm going to be working on right now, that step. All right, now you can hear it sizzle. So now I'm going to add the other pieces to the pan. I cut them into large pieces. I didn't cut them into bite-sized pieces. I don't think I'm going to be able to do all of it at once. I'll have to do it sort of in 2 batches. Now, when I'm ready to take out the the chicken thighs from this pan. I'm going to put them into a clean bowl, because remember I told you salmonella. You do not want to mix cooked chicken with raw chicken. And I'm not even going to use the same tongs. So I'm going to get another pair of tongs so I can remove the cooked chicken from the pan and not use the tongs that I used with the raw chicken. All right, that is how careful you need to be when you are working with chicken in the kitchen, in a professional kitchen especially, where you do not want to get any of your customers sick with food poisoning. That would be the end of your restaurant, most likely nowadays, especially with everybody able to give an instant report on Yelp and say how horrible their meal was or something like that. So you're going to let them brown on each side. So as soon as they've browned on one side, I'm going to flip it over and let it brown on the other side. There we go. I'm getting some nice color. Now that takes a little while, so it's about 3 to 4 minutes. So let me finish all of this, and then I can show you our next step as well.